What you're looking at here is the mist-shrouded magic of the Tiger's Nest Monastery, the most extraordinary and sacred shrine in Bhutan. Now, I was originally drawn to visit Bhutan because I heard about their gross national happiness project, and I thought, that is extraordinary. The only country in the world that's more interested in the gross national happiness than they are in the gross national product. And their Secretary Minister of Information said they decided long ago, we will never be a military power, never be an economic force, so to survive we must have a distinct identity. And the identity is our clothes, language, the architecture, and so these are the pillars of that gross national happiness which really affects every aspect of life in Bhutan in the most extraordinary way. First of all, they believe in preserving, conserving the environment. Over 70% of the forestry is under national protection. Good governance, and the king Jigne Kesar Namgyal Wangchuk, has arranged to give away a lot of his powers, so it'll be more of a parliamentary democracy. And even at the nuns' lamasery we went to, some of the nuns had just gone to parliament for the first time. And this is very extraordinary. Now, one of the other aspects is the language. Everybody has to know Dzongkha. But in addition to that, they also learn English. So they are very much aware of what is going on in the world. Their architecture is extraordinary and unusual, and the governance affects every aspect of life. The preservation of culture is crucial, and the costumes are really beautiful. Now, I went to a little school for children called the School of the Little Dragon, and it was extraordinary because on the side there was a daily calendar of what you're supposed to do if you go there. Monday, fasting negative thoughts. Tuesday, gift of love. Wednesday, zero waste day. Thursday, volunteer day. And Friday, clean school day. And indeed, we did see troops of children out cleaning the environment. So the concern to the environment is so much a part of their life, and Buddhism is so much a part of their life even before birth, that, for example, in one valley, I believe it's Punakha, where the very rare black-throated crane comes to visit every summer from Tibet, the population loves their visit so much that they have delayed putting in electricity because they're afraid it might bother the black-throated crane. So it's very extraordinary. And I was invited there through the good offices of Karma Laden, whom I met here, and her brother, Kinley, who is such a marvelous photographer, documentary photographer, and also very, very kind. He and his family showed us around Bhutan, and I invited my colleague and friend, Dr. Mary Lou Witz from Chicago, to come with us to see this extraordinary country. And so what you're going to see in the next hour will be aspects of that trip, and I couldn't handle the video camera, so Kinley did it for me, and I want to thank him and everybody who helped us, the family, and also Ed Green, whose ministrations and help putting this together were so important that I could never have done it without him. So thank you very much, and I think you will enjoy what you're going to see. This is the welcome song and dance, Boida, performed at the start of every cultural program to welcome honored guests. The lyrics go like this. It is with joy we welcome the distinguished guests. In heaven, even water glitters with the spiritual power of the gods. We hope that rays of that heaven would fall on this beautiful world. On this auspicious day, we present this song for the pleasure of our distinguished guests. And the traditional classic song depicts the sacredness of the mountain. The peak is described as adorned with gold and silver, jewels and corals at the inner belt, and a conch at the foot of the mountain. And it must be remembered that normally when these are done in auspicious day celebrations, it's done in a huge space with many, many hundreds of people doing the dances, which of course is very impressive. And we were very fortunate that they did these dances specifically for us in a small room, but that is not the way it's usually seen. And they all have a sacred meaning. The next one, which is a masked dance, depicts the victory of Guru Rinpoche over the king of the wind, the lord of the northwestern direction. That's Pema and me watching. So the dance of the Sham, the masked dance of the 4 stages, came into being. And their instruments are very, very interesting, as you can see. One of the dances is from the foothills of the mountains in North Bhutan, and we see glimpses of the snow-clad mountain, desolate, lonely, exotic spring flowers and swirling winds that keep the white prayer flag high up on the mountain. Now this is the mask dance with the stick with drums. Tantric Buddhist traditions are characteristic of dances where they hold a stick, the juging, and drums, nagaging. These dances were introduced by Rinzin Pema Lingpa at Zangdopelri, which means paradise, to subdue the evil spirits which worked against the Dharma, thus imperiling peace and tranquility on the earth. And you can imagine how exciting these dances are when done outdoors, and they leap very high, and they're wearing masks. You can't tell whether it's male or female. And there's another sacred song with the Trashigang Dzongkha Amochela, which celebrates the invincibility of the nation's victory over evil and malevolent forces. And the great Tirthan, treasure discoverer Pema Lingpa, arrived in the presence of Guru Padmasambhava at the summit of paradise, Zangdopelri, a marvelous place of lotus beams reflective of wisdom without obstacles, as large and deep as the sky. The most important congregation are believers who have passed away into the path and presence of the Guru Padmasambhava. And these are all suffused with Buddhist meanings, which every child knows from earliest childhood onward. And these dancers work all year with the head of the truth. And it's a very special privilege that we were given this dance, although it's not the time of the usual celebration, which is more like September, October. We were very fortunate, and the musicians were there, and the dancers were there, and they did this for us. lovely costumes, which really show off the weeping of the dancers. Until the concluding dance and song, which is called Tashi Lebe, the formal ceremony, and we were invited to join the dancers. It wishes good and success to all the people, considering the most auspicious celebration by singing and dancing Tashi Lebe. And we were very fortunate to be part of this beautiful gift. There's a struck instrument there which is very much like the Hungarian instrument. It's plucked and struck. And then of course the bells and the drums and the cymbals. And there's Dr. Mary Lou filming it with P. And the famous little girl. Everyone learns English from a very early age, and also Dzongkha, which is the national language. And Piju, who's only 7, speaks perfect English, perfect Dzongkha, and also Hindi. And they are very musical, too. They are striking the drums, the drums, the drums. That's the mask dance. Stick and drum, introduced to subdue the evil spirits which work against the Dharma and imperil peace and tranquility on earth. In the courtyard of a monastery, as is usually done, with hundreds of people, and hundreds of people participate. And everyone knows the stories. And this is all part of the efforts of gross national happiness to deepen and continue the ancient culture of Bhutan. Even the little children wear the costumes, and they do poetry readings, and they get prizes for it. Now comes... After the performance, they showed us the amazing boots which the dancers, the male dancers, wear. They're incredibly beautiful. Okay, can I turn it so you can see the whole thing? So are there different designs, or it's the same design for each one?
A different design.
Can I see some others? I love this. No, this is the same.
This is a pair.
That's a pair.
This is a pair.
Yes,
So
but each one is different?
No.
McKinley took this from my balcony at the Jambayang Resort in Thimphu. Here are Mary Lou and Namde on the rice field, which is very, very narrow and tricky to negotiate, going way up to the Mad Monk's temple. I did it too, and believe me, it's hard not to fall in. It's very, very tricky. See all these lingams they have here?
One of the most important Buddhist figures in Bhutan is Lama Drukpa Khenli, also known as the Divine Madman. He came here all the way from Tibet to Bhutan in the 15th century and used his crazy wisdom to spread Buddhism across the country. The Divine Madman is the favorite saint of Bhutan, but this is not the typical saint. Like nowadays advertisements, he used humor, music and sex to sell Buddhism, and his legacy stands out when you visit Bhutan. All over the country, you will encounter again and again with houses with a painted phallus. This is actually the genital of the Divine Madman. Sometimes the penises are erected, sometimes wrapped in ribbons. Sometimes they are very explicit. Apart from the painted phallus, you will also come across with a life-size penis carved of wood above the doorway of a house or hanging from the four corners of the roof. But for the people of Bhutan, this phallus is not pornographic or erotic.
To a Bhutanese person, it's very normal. Like we grew up, we sing this phallus symbols. It's essentially to keep away evil spirits and also for fertilities, to bring sufficient fertility to couples residing in those houses.
There are many stories about the Divine Madman. One of the most popular is at one time he received a blessing thread, and instead of putting it around his neck or around his waist, he put it around his penis. He was hoping to be lucky with the ladies. Bhutanese people love the Divine Madman so much that there is even a temple dedicated to him. Couples from all over the country and even from abroad come here to pray and receive a fertility blessing, in which a monk places a bone and a piece of wood, both in the shape of a penis, over the heads of the devotees who want to have a child. Locals assure that the blessings of the Divine Madman work wonders.
So it's not just for couples having fertility issues within them, but it's also for like some couples, they have like children like growing up to 1, 2, 3 years and they don't live long.
An unconventional saint whose legacy, blessings and stories continue to resonate among the people of Bhutan. Being an important part of the tradition and culture, the Holy Phallus becomes one of the many things that makes Bhutan unique and fascinating to the traveler.
Beyond the beautiful prayer flags fluttering happily in the foreground, way back in the background, here is the magic monastery called the Tiger's Nest, which is truly legendary. It's up 9,000 feet on a precipitous cliff. Who knows how they were able to build it. It's supposed to be where Padmasambhava, who brought Buddhism to Tibet and Bhutan, meditated in the 8th century. And in 1692, they built this monastery, and the monks there actually stayed there for 3 years without even going down to the valley. So it is an extraordinary journey up this very difficult path, and most Bhutanese families go up there at least once a year with their whole families. And that first shot so far below with the mist was actually from halfway up, which is about as far as I got. And I had the help of Tin Lee, who raced up to the top and took shots there, and then raced back down to help me, and Namde, who helped me all along. And here are some shots and some amazing shots of going up to the halfway point and the rest of the journey, which is so extraordinary. There is a mule track that passes through a fine pine forest with festooned with the prayer flags. On many days there are clouds giving an eerie feeling of remoteness. And it is really an extraordinary journey. Here are a few clips about the astonishing fact that the Daphne plant, which grows only in the highest altitudes, was discovered there, and I had called my new computer Daphne before we ever embarked on this trip, and I had no idea why. So it was a huge and amazing shock to find that Daphne is the actual plant from which they make the most wonderful paper for their religious manuscripts. And apparently it grows also in California, but only in the highest altitudes. She's spinning cloth out of yak wool, yak thread, right?
Hair.
Yak hair.
Yeah.
What does it feel like? Can we touch it?
It's rough.
It's rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And thick.
It's really
Yeah. Very strong, huh? Strong. Good. Let's see how it works. So she's doing it. How does that work? That is not a drum she has. It's where she keeps the yak hair. And imagine just walking along and weaving the yak hair. See, women's creativity was limited to crafts because they were not literate, they didn't have a written language, but they did wonderful basket weaving and all kinds of handcrafts where they could express, and songs where they could express their feelings and pass that down through oral tradition to their children. And now women Bhutanese writers are trying to develop a literary tradition, much helped by the example of the Indian writers, women writers. I think we have to get out of the road here. The Indian. For the Bhutanese, artisans feel that their work is a form of meditation. Art here is synonymous with spiritual practice, and the execution of art earns merit. That's why master painters do not sign their work, and for the entire range of traditional products, they don't usually sign it. There's very little mechanization, from the cultivation of dye plants to weaving and lacquer work. The tools are rustic and mostly depends on pure skill. this was a cleanup day we came upon, that a whole school goes out every week and with huge garbage bags and with masks, and they clean up the environment. That is part of gross national happiness. These lovely children all go to Montessori schools, which are run with Buddhist principles. And so the combination of the West and the best of Bhutan is a very wholesome environment. I'm going to... All right, can I go down there?
Yes.
Okay, let's go. The horse has to be hit regularly, but nobody's hit me yet. Okay, and tell us what we're looking at here. What is this?
It's the
Little stupa?
stupa.
Yeah.
Inside you can see the prayer wheels.
The prayer wheel inside. Okay, you don't get to turn those, though.
No.
The water turns
The water
the
turns,
prayer wheel.
naturally. The force of the water.
Yes. Okay. Lovely. Lovely. We've already been passed by 3 parties of Indians from Bangalore. We keep having to coax the horse. Make the rock. What's written on the rock?
Yeah.
Hello, can you drink that water? The prayer wheel is a ubiquitous presence in Bhutan, from the great big one that you'll see me turning to little ones you can hold in your hand. What they are is they're filled with prayers for all sentient beings. So whenever people go to the doctor, outside there's a prayer wheel, or the hospital, and they can push that, which is very satisfying physically, and they know they're helping not only themselves, but all sentient beings. So you have from very tiny ones that you can hold in your hand, like this, or the big ones that you have to push with all your strength, which is very satisfying, especially when you're having a scary diagnosis or a relative is in trouble or something. So the prayer wheel is a wonderful feature of the Bhutan life.
Tomato look, you want to have? No, thank you, not yet. You got it.
You want to say something?
I'm going to turn the camera from my
Ray.
shippy jump jump. Means
Shippy
we
jump jump.
almost got there.
Yes.
And what? You coming?
No, he's taking photographs.
Oh, okay, fine. Okay. So if you turn the camera a little bit, you'll see the amazing sight of the tiger's nest much closer than it was from down below. Unbelievable. What is this structure right there?
It's a cafe.
That's it?
Yes, yes.
Oh my God. And from there on, it's cut straight into the rock? The step?
Yes, yes.
But doesn't seem so far. I mean, not nearly as far as we came,
No.
is it? Is it?
If you think it's not far, it's not far. But if you think it's far, it's tiring.
Well, when I was on Mount Sinai and I saw somebody come down from the top, just after we saw the tablets, and I said, how near is the top? He said, aha, you asked the right question. You didn't say how far is the top. You said, how near is the top? Anyway, we got up there.
So if you again stay longer,
Yeah, this is pretty here.
it's just like magnet. You will you will stick onto one place.
What?
Met-
And there's a nice tradition of putting a little rock on to placate the deities and let them help you climb. And so far they're helping me a lot. Yes.
Okay, madam.
Okay, so behind me you see the tiger's nest way up there. And this is where Padmasambhava blessed the holy water, and the horses drink from here, and we can drink from here. Tastes good. Tastes very sweet. Thank you. Thank you. Very refreshing. Yes.
This way or that way?
Oh, you must repeat what you just said for the camera. We're looking at the prayer flags that are meant to purify all obstructions on the way to the tiger. And there are many, 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 many temples even higher than the tiger's nest. And here is the prayer wheel at which everybody is resting. And I really liked that holy water. It was good. Doesn't it look like the Buddha's laundry, the
I'm
prayer
still
flags?
recording.
Yes, I think so. So they're all over, and there is actually a bench over there. Oh, how human.
Now,
And here's
what do you
the
want to
great
do?
prayer wheel. Take a
First, you
look
want
at
to.
that.
I
Take a
want
look.
to.
I want to turn the prayer wheel.
Okay. First, you want to turn the prayer wheel,
Yes, I do.
or you would like to sit on the bench?
No, I'd like to turn the prayer wheel.
Okay. Come on then.
Guess we can bypass these rocks.
Just you go ahead. Do it, look.
The soft and very comfortable cushion.
Are you sunbathing?
Yes. This way, Nirvana.
Madam Dr. Doe,
Yes,
how
sir.
you feel, sir, madam?
Thank you. Oh, he's got the little prayer wheels. That's nice.
I have already filmed that one.
You filmed the top of it too?
Which one?
There.
Yeah, yeah.
Wish we could get all the boys to walk together.
Ah. Okay. Lovely. I.
Have you reached halfway?
Oh gosh. Well, this is only halfway.
I'm gonna put my hat on now.
Finally reached. Hello. Hello. Group, they're down there. So, right down. Yeah.
This is Paro Taksang, the Tiger Nest Monastery. It's built in 8th century, and Guru Padmasambhava wrote on a tigress, and supposed to be his consort. He was here in the 8th century, and this is considered as one of the wonders of the world. So this is the path, a steep step. You have to step down about 300 steps down, and then again you have to climb about more than 200 steps up to reach the monastery. And once you reach there, you are enlightened and you feel that you have been in nirvana. What a wonderful place to be. I wish everybody could be here and get enlightened. Taksang, the Tiger Nest Monastery, is about 3,000 meters from the sea. Our driver down.
On the way up, you heard about the waterfall. Now you can see it.
Here we would have dinner.
This was an amazing scene that we came on just after we descended from the 4,000-foot trajectory, returning from the tiger's nest, which it was the most amazing journey. Here at the bottom, we found some black bulls with the bells around their necks, watched by a lady, their lady friend, locked in combat. They were dead serious. And I asked Kinley to please take pictures of this, and we stopped and watched it. They were hardly making a sound, but they were dead in earnest, and they went back and forth, their horns locked, determined to best the other one. And we watched only for a short time. I wish we could have seen how it came out, because I don't know who won, but it was a stunning confrontation between, you see the bells around their neck, and this went on for quite a while. And the lady that was obviously the source of this was standing on the side, not interfering, waiting to see which alpha male would come out the winner. So we watched as long as we could. Kinley took it for me. Oh boy, there they go, pushing each other, using their full strength. It was like a bullfight with no bull, but these were the bulls fighting each other, not fighting a banderos or anybody else, but each other. And boy, were they determined. And I wish we had seen who was the winner and whether the lady in question went off. There they go, pushing, locked together, absolutely savagely determined to win. And the lady is switching her tail, watching with some detachment and pleasure. She doesn't attempt to interfere. It was quite a sight.
So I'm so pleased to meet you. Thank you. And thank you for having such wonderful children. I love Kama and I love Finley and the other children and parents. Wonderful. So excuse me. Let's show me where you live. Okay. So, we're gonna walk up.
You want to go there?
Yeah.
Got it, Right.
Wonderful setting here. Lovely. Where is your wife? Yeah. So, hi, Karma. Here we are together with your dad, and I can see all your charm and Kenley's charm in his sweet face. Very sweet. So,
Amo ochaso?
hello. Lovely to meet you.
Gana rumshu. Gana.
Lovely to meet you. You have wonderful children. You do.
Waksa baklik kulik kulada. Nanga.
Beautiful necklaces you have on. Yes.
Juru.
Beautiful necklaces.
What do you like to have?
You all have such great cheekbones. Tell them they got great cheekbones.
Naiba khang ding ding lada. Khang ding ding lada.
Oh, some tea, big tea.
Japika jamnu gyo? Japika to.
Black tea
Yes.
or green tea.
Have
either one.
seated.
Thank you. So where's Pema and her sisters? They're not coming in?
They will come. They will come. They are getting.
Thank you very much.
The final dance, a formal ceremony wishing good and success to all people. That's considered the most important auspicious celebration, singing and dancing, Tashi Lebe. Player.
Ganchi goi galo anjao de ni hiten. So it took him more than a month to learn this. Goddesses of music. Yang Chinma.
You sing. Big shame. Thank you. And this is what the men wear, called to go. And it is so handsome. It's good on everybody. Different patterns. But everyone looks good. And the women's kira is beautiful too. Very, very handsome people. Beautiful inside and out. We asked them to sing a little song for us. And the flute. The men's gold always have that white cuff and often a white collar. And the women's kira does too. And that is the one which looks so much like the cymbalum, the Hungarian struck instrument. Sounds like it too. I've seen something similar in China as well. highest climax to this wonderful afternoon, we were invited to join the Bhutanese in the classic celebratory dance to provide happiness, security, and peace to all sentient beings.
And there's Pema, his lovely wife. And there's Piju joining the dance. And sister, the guide. All this is important to include everybody so that we celebrate, sing, and dance together. And the singing and dancing, along with the biodiversity and the emphasis on cleaning up, which even the children do, is part of the gross national happiness. And I loved what was written in the school for the children to read of the days of the week. Monday, fasting negative thoughts. Tuesday, gift of love. Wednesday, zero waste day. Thursday, volunteer day. And Friday, clean school. And this perspective, which is Buddhist and also eminently kind to nature and where the world must go, is seen in every aspect of their lives. And we were very fortunate to have Hindley and his friends mount this dance for us, even though it was not the season when they usually do it. We feel very privileged, absolutely.
And this was a fitting climax to our 10-day introduction to Bhutan and gross national happiness and the magic of this remarkable kingdom. Bless you all.